Unconditional love does not mean you have no boundaries or no needs. Unconditional love looks after yourself as well, right? Yeah, because I walk this as well of like unconditional love means like, don't worry about me. I'll keep on loving you. Don't worry. I won't get my needs met. That is an unconditional love. That's not wise. Like in the Andes, we've been taught like there's a shift of paradigm of since 2012 in which no, we need to fill up our cup. We need to recognize that we need to look after ourselves first and foremost so that we can be of best service. When our cup is full, we can naturally overflow and it's effortless. So we can love effortlessly and continuously and not be like, oh no, I better save that bit. So, ensuring that you do the practices that you need to do to look after yourself. Like, so if you are with somebody that doesn't see parts of you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Number one, what does that bring up for you, right? There's something like there is a need, and that's healthy. We're not wronging it, but what does that bring up? This is what I mean. It's the greatest teacher, these relationships, because okay, is there something in me? Because Etienne, one of my biggest lessons was around this, as in I desperately wanted him to love me. I desperately wanted him to see me, like in ways that I didn't see myself. And fuck, it was uncomfortable. Do you know? So in my desperation of him, like me wanting him to love me, it was pushing him away. He was like, oh, right? And what it pushed me into was actually me taking responsibility for me.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Going Out Looking In, the podcast where we're exploring the human experience through conscious conversations. My name is Maxi, I'm your host, and today we're talking about love. It's all going to be about love, and I just, welcome you back on the podcast after the longest break that I think I've ever took from the podcast between releasing episodes, and it's a funny feeling to sit here and to talk to you in this way. And I think I need a moment myself, really arriving and feeling what that does for me, because so much has happened over the course of the last couple of weeks and months. And I mean, right now, for anyone listening, that you are still around is really a profound testament to the magnitude of this endeavor we're on with the podcast. And it's still an honor for me to share these with you. It's just like, things just change, right? And I still do really love to do the podcasts, and like, for example, this conversation I so thoroughly enjoyed, and I got so much out of it myself. And at the same time I had like a really strong intrinsic need and want to talk to Ida, my guest today. And unless that is not the case, I'm just not gonna do another episode, right? Like, if there's not someone that I really want to talk to and have some sort of a personal relationship with, I don't have to know the person, but you know what I mean, then I'm probably not gonna do another episode. I want to stick to these authentic conversations, heart to heart, and I don't know, they don't fit into a schedule, right? I can't say weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever, just like whenever the time is, like I'm gonna do one. So anyway, the last weeks, months, have been really intense for me. I feel like my prayers really have been heard. I was asking for a lot more leadership and responsibility that I get to step into, and the next stage for my evolution, laying foundations for what is to come, financially, but then also energetically, spiritually, and all of these things came true. But obviously they don't come true in a way that we sometimes, or the ego likes. And so I just am dealing with whatever God is right now throwing at me, and whatever challenges it is that I should surmount. I will a lot of change with my work outside of the podcast, doing a lot of events, doing a lot of speaking engagements where I'm holding where I'm giving speeches and talks about men's mental health, and I'm playing the guitar and I sing, and so work in a restaurant, and yeah, something will change at the end of the year. I feel it's time for me to really level up. Everything is just fleeting, right? Relationships, they come and go, and I'm just going through like a bottleneck of growth right now, and sometimes it's painful. But I'm here for all of it. So all of that basically contributed also to the episode that we're going to talk to, that I'm going to share with you today, and that is with my beautiful, beautiful guest, Ita Morrissey. Ita is, a wonderful, wonderful woman. She's a powerful force in the world of human connection and transformation. She's a masterful midwife that rebirths individuals into their true potential, and she's working with the Mana movement, which I know some of you are familiar with because I've had Chrissy on the podcast, who is also the co-founder of Mana, and I've myself been working with Mana and had sessions with Ida and Chrissy, and we prepared the event and everything. So a lot, connections and ties there. And so Ida is working with the Mana movement and her own personal artistic practice through theater and writing. She's driven by empowering humanity to reclaim their innate knowing and creativity, and thus creating a better, more beautiful world. And that's really my experience with Ida as well. Like, she's such a gentle yet very strong and fierce warrior of love and life, and she really guided me through some stuff that I needed to work through at the beginning of this year, and can really, really wholeheartedly recommend her work. I can recommend everyone working with the Mana movement. Like, I think the mission of bringing humanity together in the way that they do is unbelievably important and valuable, and it's exactly what we need in times of division and hate and uncertainty. So that's regarding Ida. The conversation was really heartfelt, and it felt so different to me to be back on the podcast after so long, and just really dive in, straight away with everything that's present for me, and talk a lot about heartbreak and love, because that's something that's alive for me right now, and it brings up a lot of other stuff, but it's a powerful portal that we can use to dig deeper. And so we did many other topics. I really feel this is a good episode, a good conversation that you're gonna get something out of. And so without further ado, wishing you as always beautiful takeaways from this episode with Ita Morrissey, myself, and just sending you so much love wherever you are in the world. All right, I hope to see you soon. Thank you so much for listening. Enjoy the episode. Also, for the listeners, I just invite you, wherever you are, to just arrive in the space, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, where you are right now. And I personally just love to be barefoot. I love to have my feet on the ground and feel, in my case, the wooden floor underneath me and the chair pressing against my body. And with all of these sensations, to ask from a place of curiosity and generosity. Just how am I feeling today? How is it to be alive as Maxi, as Ida, as whoever is listening? Just exploring that with gentleness and ease. Like, is there a dominant physical feeling, sensation? Is there an emotional one? Is there a spiritual insight? Whatever it is, just letting that be and slowly inviting you to connect to the ever-present force that is the breath, entering and leaving our body since our birth and until our death, which really, in essence, is just a completion. So the breath in as the birth, and then the breath out when we die, and everything that happens in between is that little precious thing we call life. So we can begin again with every breath. And it's the magic that happens in the pauses in between the in and the out breath. I'm just becoming aware of that as well. And so I invite us to take 3 deep breaths together. I'll count them in. We will breathe in through the nose and then out through the mouth. In 3, 2, 1, and in through the nose. And out through the mouth. And in again, Anali. And out, Skilama. One more, and we're holding at the top, Anali. And out, Skilama. Beautiful creation on this day. Please facilitate a loving connection between Ida and myself. Guard our tongues so we can speak what needs to be said, so we can hear what needs to be heard, so we can share what needs to be shared. May we navigate this conversation from a place of love, respect, dignity, honesty, truth, tenderness, grace, forgiveness, and true understanding. May we see, feel the joy and gifts of life, the nectar that we get to enjoy every single day. Let it be our breath in the lungs, the food in our tummies, the roof over our heads, the earth underneath our feet. May we realize that all of this life is fleeting, and may we hold it close to our heart with gratitude. May we remember that all of those who came before us are here with us today. Those who will come after us. We are never alone. We thank you, we thank you, we thank you. And with that, just inviting all of us back into the space in your own time and space, opening the eyes, letting that beautiful light into the field of awareness again, and just Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you. Felt like I dropped into a tunnel,
Mm.
right? Beautiful. Thank you.
Mm. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you for joining me and letting me do this. And yeah, so just yeah, on this day and right now, what's alive for you?
Oh, the unknown. That's what it feels like. The unknown on the edge. I'm feeling as if I don't know much, that I'm curious, and that brings a nervousness as well, do you know? But an alive nervousness where it's kind of pulsing through my body, and yeah, it just feels alive.
Mm.
Yeah, I feel really alive.
So can you trust in what is about to maybe happen or whatever is happening?
Yeah, this is the question, right? But I have decided, I recently I have decided that I'm going to trust fully. Like, and that's an embodied decision that I made. I think in the past maybe I've said, yeah, trust and surrender, and they were just kind of words. I'm going to trust, but no, this was like a full body. I remember I had my feet in my back garden and I said, I am ready. I am ready to receive whatever is on my path, and I'm going to trust fully that it's for my greatest good and for the greatest good of everybody, and that I don't need to know what it is. I don't need to know right now what's to come. I'm going to trust that it's happening all for the greatest good. And that was a feeling. That was purely a feeling. It wasn't just words. And since then, I felt like, oh, I can feel loving forces guiding me, kind of pushing me even to places and spaces and conversations that I wouldn't, I would have avoided.
Mm.
So, and that's where the trust is. It's like I feel this push, and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to try. Okay, I'm going. Okay, I'm going to say that thing. It's, and the trust is in the action. It's like you're not. Yeah, you have to take the action. You have to go to that place. You have to speak those words. So that's how it manifests in the real world, is actually putting it into action, not just saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big takeaway from working with you as well. It's a very practical experience, and so I can feel that and I can see you in it. So, what do you feel like was important for you to experience to arrive where you're at right now to be able to trust in this capacity? Because it certainly sounds nice and appealing. I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to trust like this, you know. It's like,
Yeah. Oh my God, it's not easy. Do you know, it takes great courage and a humbleness. Like, I have been to my knees with heartbreak, with things up in my face, do you know, and a surrendering that I didn't read about. Do you know, a surrendering that, when we read about these things, we can go, oh yes, but generally that's just through the mind. But when we are confronted, that's when we're really tested, and that's where our capacity really comes online. So, in the last like 6 years, what I have walked on my personal path, do you know, I look back and went, wow, I have, walked through fires, and because I've decided to continue to show up with love and be shown that where I'm wrong, be shown where I haven't got it all together, then that's just like built this capacity to be okay with it all. And now it feels as though things are working in my favor.
mm,
Things are actually working in my favor, even if, like, say a car breaks down, or like these seemingly inconvenient or nuisance things, everything's actually working in my favor, and I trust that because it's proved. Like the biggest heartbreaks of my life have actually, yeah, created more freedom within me, like my freedom. So yeah, just reflecting back, I just was like, oh my God, yeah, these things have been golden opportunities for me to learn more about love, the like not love that we read about or love that we see in the movies, but like the truth of love, and what I'm discovering about truth, real truth, and real freedom.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's explore truth and freedom, please.
Oh yes. Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
but before we do so, I I don't know anything about you really. I and it's like, I don't know. It's sometimes, on the one hand, it's completely irrelevant for the presence that we share with each other because, yeah, it's just, so we've been working together. So that's just for the context for the listeners, how I got in touch with you, and we had some sessions together, and you really helped me to see myself more clearly and to see where I hide from myself and where there's parts of me that, mm, yeah, where there are parts that really are not fully ready to be embodied and to be like stepped into the power that lives within me. And I'm still in the process of it, and I'm still not, it's not completed. I haven't really integrated all of it, and I also haven't fully stepped into all of this power yet. And that's okay. That's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, it was just a very profound experience.
Yeah.
And, I've done like quite some work and with, various people, and I've had so many conversations also on here. And, some are more touching and deep than others. And that's, just the nature of our universe. Yeah. And so, but with you, it was just very deep straight away. And so, I guess when I'm asking about like how did you get to where you are, and if you can maybe share some of your journey with us, what I mean is basically just like whatever you feel like worth sharing that will give me and the listeners maybe a taste of, for you personally, what has been important for you to experience, what kind of milestones you had to undergo, and what did you learn through them to be able to do this kind of very powerful work that you do today, which affects many people amongst myself.
Thank you, Maxi. The first thing that like comes to me is that we all need teachers along the path. And so thankfully I've always searched for that. I've always seeked it. I've always seeked like good teachers. And even the ones that seemingly weren't good, there was lessons in that. But I remember the one that brought me in to do this work that I'm currently doing with the Mana movement. It was Liz Gilbert Grant and Chrissy Firemain, but Liz was extraordinary. What can I say about Liz is that she was just divine, in her pure, simple demonstration of love and truth and freedom in a very, very graceful way and very simple. And so, and very deep. So it was felt straight away in her presence, even through the screen. And I just remember going, "Ooh, what is this? Actually, I remember this. I know this. I know this feeling. I can feel it. Like this is us. And she held a frequency that was true, I feel, to like all spiritual human beings, and we all are. And she just reminded me of the beauty of myself, you know, and so I just stayed in close to her, and like had sessions with her, with like literally metaphysically right by her side, going, what is she doing, how is she doing it, like observing, learning from her, in the short period of time that I had with her, because she's passed now. And also other teachers throughout my life. And my greatest teacher is the father of my children, Etienne, who has tested me every step of the way. Do you know? And it's really interesting around this concept, or this idea of unconditional love. I think that we all have this capacity for it. Yes, or yes. I know I was brought in, and I thankfully was graced with this from my mother in a beautiful way that it has been unwavering. So even whatever's happening in the 3D, I've felt this truth of unconditional love. And we can have it easily sometimes for people like our children or our parents, sometimes that can be the case. But when it's tested, when it's challenged, so when Etienne has challenged me in unconditional love, as in, could I love him regardless of if he loved me? Could I love him if he was an absolute pig? Like, could I? And that's how he has grown my capacity to love absolutely everything and everyone, because he's tested it. My Liz used to say, love and willingness, it's easy when it's easy, when things are all lovely and sunny and nice. But really the truth of it is we actually only touch on the truth of love and freedom is when we're challenged, when things get tough. And that's when we get our strength. Like, think about it, like when we're learning to walk, we don't learn to walk by sitting still. We have to challenge ourselves physically. We have to fall over. We have to do these things. And I think in this day and age, we've kind of forgotten about it. We've become very immature. Like as adults, we've forgotten that we're going to be tested. We're going to be challenged. What are we going to do in those moments? Are we going to say, oh, sorry, this is too uncomfortable. I'm going over here. I'm going to go distract myself over here. No, like I see every opportunity of being challenged. Ooh, what is this asking of me? There's lessons in it for me. And it's not to say that you don't have healthy boundaries, but like that even might be a lesson. It's like, how am I going to communicate with love, with grace, with dignity and truth, a boundary here? So, and I loved what you said at the beginning. It's like every breath is a new moment, a new choice. And I see that in life. It's not just every morning. As you said, it's every breath. We have a choice. And I think we forget about that. I really, for me, I think we are not living in the truest magic of the universe. Like I don't know, I think I've touched on it, but I can also feel where most of the time I'm not in it too. I know it's there. I get glimpses of it. I feel it, the synchronicities, the things, the beauty of it, the exquisiteness of it. But then a lot of the time we're just operating from the mind, the doing, the busyness. So, I'm just on a journey of touching in on the magic, the real truth of who we are and why we came here.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about Etienne.
Oh, yes. So Etienne, he is a biodynamic craniosacral osteopath. So he's got a beautiful sensitivity, and yeah, I met him 12 years ago, and I was pregnant within 3 months, basically. Do you know, I had our paths crossed, and I was about to go back from Ireland back to Australia. I was going to say, okay, I'm done with Ireland. I'm going to go see what Australia's like again. And because I grew up in Australia,
Mm.
and so he came to Ireland. He's French. He came for a job, a random job. His line of work isn't so, it's quite a niche field. So he came to Kilkenny. He'd never heard of it. Then he moved into the house, and voila! 3 months later, I was pregnant. No plans to be pregnant, and my path went a completely different way. And golly, it was my reckoning, and it was my awakening to have now three boys. Like, we had them very quickly. Felt like it felt like, I don't want to say this, it's like I didn't have a choice in the physical. I was like, as in, would I ever decide to do this? Like, the journey of motherhood? Whoa, I don't know.
How was it for you when you first found out that you were pregnant after 3 months?
Oh, it was a total different experience for me and for Etienne. So, for him, it awakened something. Like, literally, looked at the test, and something activated within him. For me, I went into a spiral of despair. I had this physical response that just had me running away into my room, like into a cave. I was like, "What the hell?" It just came as such a shock, and I wasn't prepared for it. But I allowed myself to feel all of that. I just allowed, because I was at that stage in my kind of growth. I knew it wasn't wise to suppress emotions, so I allowed myself just to feel it all, and then I was able to hear. I was able to hear, no, this is right,
Mm.
and that we're keeping this baby, and that this is where I'm walking. And then it was just like a whirlwind of you know beauty. Like, it's such motherhood, and I was blessed because, like, Etienne is a treasure of a human being, and to have walked, yeah, I had stuff. I had lots of stuff around it. Like, I was an independent woman, and suddenly I had to surrender into being a mother, having him support me, as a 30-year-old, where we've grown up through the ages of, I'm a woman, I can do everything, I don't need your help, and I don't need anything, right? He was gracefully going, you just sit there on the couch and do your mother thing. I'll look after the other stuff. And I was like, huh? Do you know, I'm going to lose my identity. And he was just like there with me as I kind of let go of all these things that I thought about myself, because motherhood kind of, yeah, shattered them. It doesn't allow you to, oh, well, you can, to still grip onto these ideas of who we think we are. Motherhood had me like on the floor most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What would you say did you learn? I mean, obviously, I guess plenty of things, but some nuggets that you feel like sharing from you becoming a mother.
Yeah. That if you allow it, it will change you, like, in the greatest way. One thing that I'm still learning is that I'm not always right. My children are always proving that to me. I think I might be right, but, like, there is a responsibility of taking charge. When, for example, like, I don't allow my kids to play video games. That's for me, at their age, when their brain is developing, and things are connecting, and their creativity, their imagination, all of this is being formed. I've made a strict rule of like, no, there is no computer, no gaming in my house. No. And so, yes, there's things I know, but then there's also like when I had a conversation with my eldest, Tito, who's now 12, you know, he was really showing me that I was stuck going, I know what's best for you. I know what's best for you. And he was like, you're not understanding me. You're not listening. And I was like, oh my God. If we actually listen to our children, if we listen to them, they have wisdom beyond our years. They're closer to the spiritual than we are. Do you know, we've had these lifetimes of being programmed, influenced, all this kind of stuff. They're closer to that veil of magic. And so if we watch them, so one of the beautiful things that I love watching them is in the play and how they can actually just like access it in the blink of an eye, and they don't hold grudges. You know, they get fumbled, they get the brothers kind of like one might like punch the other, or in rumbling things, and then 5 minutes later, they're playing Lego together and having a time. They don't hold grudges. They get on with it. They feel it, and then they get on with it. And I think it's beautiful. And they're always inviting me, my boys are always inviting me to be more playful. Even when I'm in a bad mood and I want to stay in it. I want to stay. No, you're right. I can feel myself. And like, could just make a joke, and I'm like, no, I'm not. Oh, that's an invitation to go, hey, come out of that like gray, cloudy, grumpy bubble and come and play, right? Come and, when I say play, I mean like enjoy life.
Yeah.
See, it's it's quite exquisite, but again, like it does test us. It tests us.
How would you say, from what you can observe and feel, how did it change Etienne?
Ooh, yeah, I can't say for certain because that's been my lesson also with Etienne. I don't know, what his journey has been, but I think again it calls for the masculine. It feels like it calls somewhere quite deep for a strength, right? Whether if you have girls or you have boys, it's like it calls something like to come stronger online in the truth of masculinity, of like not only the protection, the provider, or these kind of areas. I think it brings up all of that, like for a man, it's like, oh, and it'll have your stuff. I call it stuff. Your kind of the programs or your insecurities. It comes up. So if you have insecurities around, like being able to provide, or like I'm just reminded, sorry, of a beautiful film. I think it's a Swedish film, and the father is challenged because there was bullying going on with the son, and like, what's masculinity? Is it to go and fight? Is it to stand? And I think the role of the father, I can't even begin to know what it kind of brings up, but I think it does call for like the truth of what is a masculine figure in this world.
Yeah. I mean, that's I get it. Like, that's why I try to frame the question in a way that like considers your experience. It's like, so what did you notice in him? Like, how did maybe also the relationship change from there on?
Okay. Yes.
Did you show up differently?
I feel as if he has been quite stable in his showing up. What I do remember this feeling of like, this is the right man for me to rear children. Because we might have disagreement with like everybody. It's going to happen.
And that was prior you having kids. You knew
Yes,
when you.
I knew once I fell pregnant, Like in that moment, once I emptied out, that I was like, no, this is the right person. Like this is a good person. I could feel him, like underneath all, like I could feel his heart. This is right. Um, and that was I think I can only heard that was because I allowed myself to empty out, to be upset, to be rageful, to be like I was down and out for quite a
Mm-hmm.
while because it wasn't what I was going back to Australia. I was gonna, I wasn't gonna become a mother. And I had just finished college, so I was only just starting my career in theater and in that field. And I was like, what? Do you know, like it kind of yeah. So now that we're speaking about it, I can feel where, Etienne really was a stable ground for my growth. Like that's where the beautiful masculine, I felt like the safety and the home to for my growth into motherhood, into my spiritual journey, into my growth. Like he was there going, yeah, we're doing this, without any words, but it's just energetically
Yeah.
felt.
Have you
Yeah.
done spiritual work at this point?
Yeah, I had touched on stuff, and I was blessed with a mother, even though in the 3D we could have like not seen eye to eye on things, but she had always filtered spirituality throughout my life because she was unconventional.
Mm.
That it was definitely, my dad is Catholic and has a strong spiritual connection, with God and his faith, not in a dogmatic way, but just it feels really clean, like it's helped him through his life. My mother was very unconventional, kind of a bit of a rebel, the kind of like me, and so I remember that one of the first times, I think I was like 8 or something, and she said, God is everywhere. God isn't just at church. And it was because I had asked her, I'm like, why don't you go to church? We go to church on Sunday. And she's like, well, God is everywhere. And I was like, and so she had always been introduced, alternatives, even therapies, alternative ways of being. And so I was always like seeking. And I remember at a very young age, at I think 13, I was like, Buddhism, what's this? I kind of felt drawn to it. So I think, again, I was always seeking knowledge, wisdom. Yeah.
Right. Right. Mm. So what happened then? So
With Etienne. So we had 3 children, and consecutive, quite fast. Like I think a year and a half between each of them, and then when the youngest Solly was, I think 1, I just got this call. I was like, we have to go. We have to go. We had just bought a house, had just renovated it. It looked the picture perfect.
that was an
It looked
island?
This was in
Okay.
Ireland. It looked like the picture perfect. If somebody was looking out, like at us, oh, there's this beautiful family with 3 kids. Etienne's busy with his practice that's doing so well. They've got a house and it's all done up. It looked so well. But internally, I was like exhausted, and I could feel Etienne drifting from the family energetically. Like I could just feel it. And again, that doesn't make sense, do you know? But it was an internal, like, ooh. And I just said, we have to go. We have to take a sabbatical. We're going. I don't know. I had no plan. And that was the most challenging part, was to communicate this to Etienne and say, we have to go. And he's like, what are you talking about? We've just bought a house. My practice is doing really well. We've got 3 small kids. What are you talking about? I'm like, no, we have to go. So for the next 6 months or 9 months, I held strong to that knowing, and magic did happen. You know, we had somebody literally email me out of nowhere. Hey, we're a Spanish family looking to rent a house in Ireland next year because we want our children to have an Irish immersion. Would you rent your house? And I was like, this is it. You know, like everything was aligning for this to happen. And eventually we did. It was a challenge for me to hold that because, again, in the 3D, it did not make sense. You know, the parents were going, what? That's silly. What are you running from? But I could feel that there was something that had to be. So we went and we bought a camper van and traveled around France, and then we went to Morocco for 3 months, and that was activating for us as a family, independently, but then also together. Something happened there in that beautiful country, and then we spent a year in France, an extra year in France, and then now we've come back to Ireland. But it didn't make sense, you know. And at the end of that trip, actually, I was in the camper van, and I could sense, you know, I'd been feeling that for a while, that Etienne was kind of drifting. And at the end of that trip, Etienne says, you know, we're not to be together anymore. I don't love you. And I shattered, like, and I just, like, somatically, it felt like as if I was just like caving in, letting go, and just free falling to nothingness. And I just was like, oh. And that was the moment that the very next day, I started the work with the Mana movement. I think the month before, I had Chrissy had been on my kind of radar through social media, and I'm like, she's really interesting. She's got something. I like her. Do you know, there was some resonance. So, and her and Liz were doing a course, and I'm like, I don't know what it is. I have no idea what it is, but I'm doing it. So that happened that night. The next day, I started the course, and oh my God, I mean, the magic. I was held through that 10 weeks. Energetically, I was held to feel it all, to come through it. That by the end of that 10 weeks, I got to a place. I remember again, the very moment I was like, boom, feet on the ground. I was like, I love Etienne more than ever before. And I don't care if we're never together. That and the unconditional love came in, and I felt it like a white, bright light of a highway, that my love for him will never end, regardless if we're together or we're not. And I didn't want to be with him. It wasn't like we were still separated. It was fine. And it was just miraculous. But that's what is capable. Like, that's what is available to us, that we can move through these things and return to love. And it was like I felt it all in that space of time. I just felt everything that came up. I didn't deny any of it. I didn't deny the parts that were ugly, that were shitty, that had me like bawling, snotty, or angry. I didn't deny it. I just expressed it and freed myself to then be able to return to who we are, who I really am, which is love, pure love. You know, that, yeah. So I just knew at that moment, I was like, this stuff is good. These teachings that Liz and Chrissy had handed to me, these are tools for life. I'm all in. And then I was all in. From that moment, I was all in, and still am. So, and the journey with Etienne had continued. So, like, we had separated, but I felt closer to him than I had in so long. Like, when he said that to me that evening, there was truth in the space. And that's what truth does. It sets you free. Mm-hmm. It set me free. Even though it was hard and heartbreaking, it actually spiritually set me free to go on my journey to doing what I'm doing right now. You know, it's just like, it was actually a relief. In all of the hurt, it was actually a relief. And that's why, like, he was the one. That's why I say, wow, he was the one brave enough to do it. He didn't want to hurt me, do you know? He he didn't want to hurt me, but he was brave enough to say it. So I commend him for that. Do you know? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And now, sorry, and now, like, our journey continues. And like, me and Etienne are together, but I'm not attached to the relationship being anything like anything other than an environment of love. And it doesn't matter what it looks like then. It doesn't matter what it looks like. If we're together or not together, in a romantic way,
Right.
that doesn't matter. We're together as human beings, and I'm going to love him regardless. So it kind of like blew my mind on what I thought a family was, which was like this picket fence square thing. I was going, oh, I get to design and create a family of what I think it could be. Yeah.
So to clarify or to reiterate, you believe in unconditional love and you have felt it.
Yeah. Yes. I know it to be true. And the only thing that's in the way of that for all of us is our hurt. That's all it is. And that's why I love this work that I do, is because it empties out, it provides a safe space to feel that hurt, because we have been fucking hurt, guys. Like, we have been hurt on this journey, not only from people, but from society, from everything, from upbringings, like the small things, even the seemingly small things from childhood. There is so much hurt. And hurt and trauma, I don't believe has a rating. Do you know? It doesn't say, "Oh, this happened to you, and that's really bad." But my mum only said one mean thing to me. No, it's all relative. It's how we experience it and what we do with it. Like, so, and if we suppress it, it just builds up, and that's what kind of clogs up our heart from actually shining out. Us shining brightly out is all this stuff. So this work that I do is really just like emptying out the backlog of hurt and upset, this heavy energy of, yeah.
Yeah, I feel everything you say, and it's resonating very much in the context of this conversation and my role here. I'm just gonna ask a little bit around these things, because I can hear the voice of some people that I've talked to recently, and actually one of my very good friends who I speak to about this quite regularly, and he's like, yeah, and I have needs.
Yeah.
He's
Yes.
like, and I have needs. And he's very mature, he's very wise. Like, so we are on a the frequency is high. Like, it's not like an immature conversation we're having around this topic of unconditional love, if I may set that frame in this way. I don't know. I guess, he just, and I feel resonance with that, and I would just like to bring it into the space now with you.
Yes.
He's just like, I personally don't like. I feel the thought of it is very nice. That there is such a thing as unconditional love, and with me personally, I have loved very, very deeply, and I've I've had one relationship, and it's been long, for like in relation to my lifetime. It's been nearly a third of my life I've spent with this woman. And so I always said I love her unconditionally. I always said that, and I still do now. However, now we're not together anymore, and in the relationship, there were parts of me that were not um, that were not fully seen, for example, and things that I
Yes.
haven't really felt and stuff. So, having said all that, I'm just like, so, we as humans, I do really feel that we need each other, and we need, we are meant to be with each other as opposed to be alone and isolated.
Yeah.
And as we know, like relationships are gonna challenge us and are the ultimate soul for growth. And so I feel like, yeah, I'm entering a relationship not with the intention of like sucking out energy of someone, or no, I want to love, and I have love pouring out of me, and I want to share this with other people. And I feel like this is a good place to start. However, I would be lying if I was to say that, I do have needs, and right now I'm somewhat clinging on to the yeah, just like to, share intimacy in a way that, nourishes me, and I do get something from it. I will say that, and
Yeah.
it's an exchange, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I guess I dance a
Yeah.
little bit around the bush, and there's no question attached to it. Just like bringing that into the space a little bit.
No,
Yeah.
I think it's very wise that you've done this because, yes, unconditional love does not mean you have no boundaries or no needs. Unconditional love looks after yourself as well, right? Yeah, because I walk this as well of like unconditional love means like, don't worry about me. I'll keep on loving you. Don't worry. I won't get my needs met. That is an unconditional love. That's not wise. Like in the Andes, we've been taught like there's a shift of paradigm of since 2012 in which no, we need to fill up our cup. We need to recognize that we need to look after ourselves first and foremost so that we can be of best service. When our cup is full, we can naturally overflow and it's effortless. So we can love effortlessly and continuously and not be like, oh no, I better save that bit. So, ensuring that you do the practices that you need to do to look after yourself. Like, so if you are with somebody that doesn't see parts of you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Number one, what does that bring up for you? Right? There's something like there is a need, and that's healthy. We're not wronging it, but what does that bring up? This is what I mean. It's the greatest teacher, these relationships, because okay, is there something in me? Because Etienne, yeah, one of my biggest lessons was around this, as in I desperately wanted him to love me. I desperately wanted him to see me, like in ways that I didn't see myself, and fuck, it was uncomfortable. Do you know? So in my desperation of him, like me wanting him to love me, it was pushing him away. He was like, oh, right? And what it pushed me into was actually me taking responsibility for me. Okay, I'm not going to put my energy towards that at the moment, draining my energy. Like, I'm going to look after me. That was unconditional love. I said, I'm going to look after me, clear out. If I do have any upsets around not being seen, not being loved, I'm going to go to my teachers. I'm going to do the work, clean that out. So then I can go and engage in a relationship without expectations or demands. When like the subtle energies that go on within relationships that are driven by our needs, like that and the needs where we have been hurt, like in childhood or whatever, those needs. We might have like basic needs in which just need to be met, right? And those are healthy boundaries. Like, no, this is what I want from a relationship. I want somebody to communicate with me. I want this. And that's coming from a kind of a clear channel of what you are standing for and what you know. But if there is a subtle energy of, I need this.
Mm-hmm.
You don't give it to me, well then fuck you. Do you know? There's that is something just to look at within you. And this is where the teachings are. Like, this is where we clean and clear out, that you can come back to the relationship and be like, no, this is what I want in a relationship. And I have every right or every desire to want that. And if you can't meet that, well then, let's see about, like, let's communicate about that. Maybe we need to separate or whatever. But it's coming from a clean
Yeah.
place. You know, yeah. But the unconditional love includes you as well. Not just yeah.
Yeah.
Giving.
No. Okay. That. Yeah. No. That. Thank you. That makes it clearer, and I do resonate with it because I feel. I feel this way. Like I feel I. Yeah. That's why we're learning. Obviously, it's learning. So I've neglected a little bit of myself and tried to appeal, I guess, very subconsciously, very subtle frequencies. It's subtle,
Yeah.
nowadays at
Yeah.
least, with 31 now, I'm quite sophisticated in manipulating myself. So yeah,
We've become very clever
yeah,
in those ways, don't
it's
we?
very sophisticated. But
Yes.
being truly honest, yeah, there was like some parts of that was in there, like, trying to also, not fully seeing, fully hearing what the other person says and is about and wants and expresses, and only picking up on the pieces that you actually want to hear and want to feel and want to resonate with, and the other ones you just sort of like,
Yeah, we're kind of like, I don't want
yeah,
no.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so, but ultimately, today I feel I've, you know, after all, I was able to now do it, and
Yeah.
not, I wish to have, potentially done it sooner, but also, I don't know, it's, that's life to a certain degree,
That's
it's fucking life,
exactly.
and
It's yes, and this is also where the trust comes in of your divine timing. Your journey is unique, Maxi. Mine is unique, and it's not that. Yeah, I love how free you are with exposing these things, because people tend to hide and like, so the crunchy parts, like, oh my god, I can see where I've been doing that. There's freedom in that, your freedom in that, right?
exactly.
Yeah, it feels really refreshing, so refreshing that you're just so free with it. Because we have all been doing it. Oh my God, when I got to see all the ways that I was like subtly, but not so subtly, manipulating and trying to get this. It makes me cringe. I go, oh my God, it's kind of like, but um, in exposing it, it's free. It's free, and we go, okay, I'm not hiding from it. Now I get to really choose. I get to decide what I want to do now in those situations. Now that I've seen
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, self-worth honestly is like self-love. When I'm just like, I don't know, there were really like situations where I was just like, I don't know, talking myself into some sort of like, not rage, but it's more like yeah, like it's like like winning over someone like through arguments or like actions. And it's just like,
Yes.
no, you're not seeing me. Like
Yeah.
you're not, like, and to coming to terms with like, okay, you just with, there is an overlap clearly, but it's not like fully, and um
Mm,
and neither you nor I deserve or want to be in a relationship with someone where we have to, do this dance of like, around each other and stuff. Like, I want to be with someone who wants me for who I am, for my full expression and of my truth,
without a
without a
doubt.
doubt. And so do I, I want, and I have, you know, I guess, my capacity is quite big for that because I'm not looking for a copy of me, I'm actually
Yes.
looking for someone who is different. Actually, I'm not looking for anyone, but
Yeah.
like,
Yes, but
you get what I'm
yeah,
saying,
I
like,
totally get what you say.
yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, just finding myself in these conversations where I'm just like, damn, I've been doing the sales pitch for 10 minutes now on like why
Yeah.
I believe like my belief around love or whatever is superior to yours in order to win you over and finally have you love me. But like, no,
The game
if
feels
my
like
presence is not like making you want me, I like, but
yeah.
it's something to yeah, to come to terms with
Yeah.
also. And that little part is crunchy, it's painful and stuff, but it's good.
Yeah, it's if it's not crunchy, it's not like what are we doing? This is what I feel like. This is where you're really alive. You're like, oh my God, on the edge and crunchy. This is where you're really living. This is where you're growing. This is like for me as well, is like, oh, and yeah, I catch myself like in conversations or um, discussions of like, am I just trying to prove that
Exactly.
I'm like, what are you trying to do here? Like and it's okay. Like I have to remind myself, totally okay. Okay, catch myself. Am I okay to be wrong? Am I okay? Because like I get this. A very simple example is like if we're all sitting around a table, or just sitting in different positions, and we get somebody just to describe, each of us to describe the mug that's in the middle of the table, we're all going to have a different perspective. They're all true. Everyone is true.
Yeah.
But like here, I'm going, no, Maxi, the mug doesn't have a handle. And you're like, the mug has a handle. I'm like, no, there's no hand. All of it is truth. So in our such a desire to be right, we're missing out on the whole truth, all of it. And I think it's just sometimes an energy field that we can get caught in. It's not like we can get caught in it. I feel it like as if I want to be right or understood, it's like I feel as if I'm a dog with a bone. If you like, I feel things somatically, so I tense up. I'm like, and I'm like, oh. So that's an indication for me. I'm like, oh, what's going on here? What's going on here? And then I'm able to see it and then decide or not decide. I can decide, what am I going to do here? Okay, I'm going to let this go. Am I going to just say, hey, let's put on some music and shake it, like just have a dance? Let's go for a walk. Or, we can make a new decision, as you said, like in every breath, once you see it.
Yeah, once you see it. And even then, like, it takes courage and it takes like real honesty with self and stuff. Like, yeah, I will say, yeah, it took every single experience so far leading up that, for me to now, leave, for
Yeah.
example. And like, yeah, it's just like I leave with love.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, exactly. You're not leaving with a fuck you. You didn't
No,
give me.
mm-mm.
It's more like, ooh, I can feel that in the field, Maxi. Like, that's like grace, do you know? And I feel like we are all graceful beings when in the truth of who we are, we can just leave with love. And I know this to be true because, my previous partner to Etienne, it was a deep, deep, deep love. And there was hurt and heartbreak at the end of it. And again, I felt it, but I just remember my love for him continued. I could just feel it, like, even to this day, I love him. That's just natural. Doesn't mean I want to be with him or anything, but I love him and I want the best for him.
Yeah,
It doesn't mean I have to like be in contact with him or anything, but that's what's actually available to all of us. And if it's not, totally okay, but just, is a hurt there that we need to take responsibility for that part, as in to find a good guide or, a good way of feeling all the hurt on your side. Like, Yeah, because it has been tough.
Yeah.
Matters of the, oh my God, it's a tough journey, tough ride.
Yeah, for sure. Um, yeah. Like I also feel, but yeah, it changed from being something that I try to avoid or not wanting to feel to really having like a mind and heart set of this being the full symphony and orchestra of life and the human heart, and the notes that it can play. And
Oh,
neither one
yeah.
is like more beautiful or worse or better than the other. It's just like they're all part of the symphony. And yeah, that's been a teaching of Michael Singer, like who is one of my
Oh,
most influential teachers, right? So this is it, and
this is,
this is it. And like just the experience, like this morning I was going for a run, and I'm running towards the mountains. It's early in the morning, and there's like a beautiful lake here. It's beautiful where I live, if I may say. And I take this run in the sun, and I listen to some music, and I'm just feeling. And then there's like, the wind's blowing in my face, and then the tears, they're running like obviously because I'm running, they're like streaming down
yeah.
horizontally, like to the back of my face. And it's just like, but in a good way, in a
Yes.
good, like in a way that like feels, I'm like, just thank you, God, for this experience.
Oh,
Because as much as
all right.
I've,
Yeah.
as much as the highs have been so high and the lows so low, but not in the lows that they are bad, but like just deep,
No.
like the feeling is deep. And I'm like, I'm alive, this
Yes.
thing is alive, you
Yeah,
know?
that's it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's it, Maxie. The exquisiteness and the full flavor of everything. Like the mind will have you try to categorize, oh, you're crying, that's bad.
Exactly.
Oh, you're good. And I too remember that moment where I was bawling and I remember going, like catching myself go, I'm alive. I'm alive. Wow. So like it's just the symphony of experiencing it all, like all of the flows. And I see it just even in our internal world, but also when we open up this channel, this vessel of this body, and empty out and allow us to feel every emotion, we also open up the channels of communicating and feeling and connecting with the when I say the natural world, yes, we are nature, but the trees, the sky, the clouds, the daisies, the grass, the bugs, everything. Oh my God, I'm telling you, fruit and trees, and they've never tasted so good. Like everything is just becomes like explosive. Like yeah, I just this year I've got raspberry bushes in the back garden, and it's been like orgasmic nearly,
Mm.
to be picking these raspberries. I'm so delighted. I'm like, thank you, the abundance, and being able to share them with my boys. And it's just like life becomes so much more exquisite
Yeah.
into the magic of it when we allow ourselves, like you said, to see these parts, to feel it, to feel the upset, to like taste it all.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it all comes down to the judgment, like, and to the calling it something. Like if I if I start removing these labels and just like see it as experience, things can become, yeah, change in an instant, really. Just
Yeah.
like, yeah. So having said that, what does freedom mean to you?
Yeah, freedom means to be able to feel it all. um, to be with it all. I feel like to be with it all. Like, I think where we're trapped is where we've locked in. Sorry, Agira. Sorry, I've just been interrupted. Agira, I'm not. What is it? What's the matter?
It's half an hour.
Yes. Okay, I'll be there shortly. Okay, seriously.
Oh, yeah, 45.
Agira.
It's half an hour extra.
Okay, thank you. That's just one of my kids. So, what does freedom mean? Oh yeah, to be with it all, like to be with the good, the bad, the ugly, like without judgment of it, and to experience it. That's freedom for me. That's simply it. It's not this idea of it where we've been seen. Oh my God, like I kind of get a bit cringy when I see how freedom is posted on the social medias or sold to us in marketing of like, your financial freedom, you can do whatever you want. Meanwhile, they're stepping over people. Do you know? Freedom isn't not caring and taking care of people. It's like freedom actually takes care of everybody as well. And so freedom for me feels like I am unwavering, that like I can be with a really horrendous moment and not be taken out like on the carpet for 3 months and unable to like live life. Freedom is feeling it all, being with it all, and still being your authentic self, the authenticity of your truest self, of like whatever expression that is, not held back, being able to speak your like this truth or how you feel. That's freedom. Like freedom to make choices. Like even what I feel like in relationships is like the freedom to be in it or out of it, and it doesn't impact like your journey, your spiritual like power of your place in the world. Freedom is to be in any situation and still be yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. What about commitment and freedom?
Yeah, I love when we go into the nuances because commitment, devotion, discipline. I've realized my relationship with discipline in the past was like strictly dictated by my rebel little teenage self, like nobody's going to tell me what to do. Do you know? But discipline is actually required, and discipline is a devotion and a commitment. But it's not to say that, like, for example, if you're just looking at it in regards to say a morning practice, or even eating a particular way, knowing that eating a particular way is really good. And, for me, it's like eating healthy organic food. I know that I feel better in my body and therefore I feel better in my mind and more clear. But if I'm so tight around that I can't have chocolate ice cream or can't have some like sugar, whatever, then I'm caught. Then I'm stuck somewhere. So freedom is being able to make a choice in any given situation, like to have the ice cream, then, or to not. That's like, but that when life gets at you, and like, it does because we live in this world, in this Western culture where, we have to work jobs, we have children, we have all these, that we can get caught in patterns or that are unhealthy. And the discipline and commitment to your spiritual path is the thing that I lean into to keep me buoyant, to keep me free, is the commitment to my spiritual growth, that is first and foremost the most important thing.
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like our world nowadays associates freedom or sees freedom as the antidote of commitment. So commitment is actually taking away freedom,
Oh yeah, no, right? I think we've got it the wrong way around, because if we do that, like, oh, I want to be free, I want to do my thing. Meanwhile, you're missing out on all the lessons that actually leaning in. It's interesting, the word commitment, because that was another thing that Etienne gifted me. Because I grew up, my parents divorced and separated when I was 13, finally. But before that, there was always, separation, and so I never got to see, commitment. And I remember Etienne had said, oh yeah, my parents went through a bad time, but they committed to just be together. And I'm like, what?
Mm.
You can choose that. And then within that space, more growth can happen. Like, you don't give up on the other person just because they change their mind or they have a different point of view. I was like, oh, what? And that's actually a more place of growth, I find. Like, I truly feel that I could love anybody, right? And it's not dependent on what they look like or anything. It's actually like, it's where two people meet and they want to commit and grow.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that, sometimes people have had their time together and they go, okay, we've done all we can here, let's go our separate ways. And but that's done with love, right? But if you're committed to go, okay, is there more to grow here? Is there more to learn here? Let's commit to this.
Yeah. Yeah. I also feel like, like being like not committing and not like deciding. I mean, it also, commitment is also a decision often, like it goes hand in hand. And I feel like deciding and making a decision and committing to that path leaves you in the bound and in the prison of choice and in the prison of endless possibility. And therefore, you basically also act out of lower frequency and sort of, temporary needs or whatever is most flashy in a moment, but you're not operating from a deep seated place of like sovereignty, I feel. So I feel like a clear decision and a commitment for or against something is energetically so much more powerful than like not deciding and like leaving everything open and then like
Oh,
seeing, I'll just go with the flow.
yes, 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 yes. We like, these are the teachings that I teach with the humanity training, is the power of this. It's like, nothing's right or wrong per se. It's just, if we're so you can decide to be in a relationship and you can decide not to be in a relationship. Those are both two powerful decisions, and clean, as you said, and energetically and with intention. But if you're going, yeah, I'm in a relationship, I'm committed, but like, you're not decided, yes, then you're going to be, number one, you're going to be at the whim of everything that kind of is around. And then you see this and you're like, oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice. You're going to be a victim to all the distractions of this world. And there's many. But with decision, it's like a clarity. It kind of cuts through any of this fog and these energies that just want to distract us through all the ways that things can distract us.
Yeah, totally. And we're basically just a victim to them, which is a very low frequency to be in.
Yes.
Now, with the mana movement, what can you share with us about it, and what
Yeah.
do you feel like sharing when it comes to your work at the mana movement?
Yeah, beautiful question. It's the Mana Movement is an organization, and I see it kind of like the way, a relationship. It's an environment where there is great learning and growth possible. So people come in and they experience some of the Mana medicine or the teachings, or even our immersions in Peru, the online work, and they use it, it's kind of like a school, in which you come to, you get some lessons, you get some, it could be therapeutic sessions or some of the teachings, and you then get back out in life and use them and live your life the way you want to live. Like you're dreaming. Like everybody has come here with a dream, a purpose. And a lot of people have lost sight of that. Or they feel that it is something other than what it actually is. Like, so with Mana, it's very simple, humble work, an organization that just simply says, come in, remind yourself of the power of you, get clear out some of the backlog, get activated back to the truth and the beauty and the power of you. Like, this is what we're about, the freedom, like the freedom that is beyond what we're living at the moment. I really know that there's so much more magic available to us. And this is what this work does. It kind of anchors us up into a higher frequency, if you want to say, or, something more than just the density and the worry and the fear, which is thick and heavy, being pulsated constantly throughout the world. And, we stand for truth, freedom, and love. Those are the three kind of anchor points, and everything is just around that. Everything is just around that. So it's beautiful, it's humble, these teachings. The first step is the humanity training, which can be done in person or online. Both are very, very powerful. And then we go on to do Munai, which is, we dive deeper into the metaphysics of the heart and love and how we have been conditioned or programmed. So we unravel. There's a specific design which our teachers taught us, but also they worked out, like dedicated their time to work out how the heart naturally unravels.
Right.
It's in a particular order. You can't just go straight into the root, like go, whoa. This is where a lot of people have like become very upset and disheartened with modern psychology, psychotherapy and stuff, is because it's not actually being done in the holistic way that we are. It's going through the mind. Oh yeah, you see this is your problem, blah, blah, blah. But, our approach is a holistic approach. It's taking every part of you on the journey. And so it's really efficient. And because it's a step-by-step, unlayering, then it's really efficient to go to the root. And then we have another training, which is for why, which is incredible. And that goes into what we were talking about a bit before, about the manipulation and control energies, which are a lot up here in the mind. And we do some like epic trainings that totally break us free from those patterns or those ways of operating. But it is confronting. That's where we go straight for that. We go for freedom, but it has to be done in a particular order, like the foundations, humanity, which is for everybody, like anybody. My 9-year-old son has done the course.
Beautiful.
It's it's so simple and it is so effective.
Yeah. Well, simple but not easy, right? So yeah, I feel like in the context of this conversation, it can be quite potentially helpful if I quickly speak into my experience with working with you and the Mana movement, because because some of the stuff that you share, if I may say, I've heard before, or read before, but now, having done it and having experienced it, I can just like tell the audience that, you have to be ready for it and you have to want it.
Yes.
This is really where, all of this kind of work is getting really where
Yeah.
where where it's just getting real, you know, and it's getting real, and it's potentially really scary. And yeah, I mean, it's so scary that I was not, you know, till this day in certain parts. For example, like I've shared in the beginning, I'm not fully able or ready, I'm not and willing to do certain things and make certain changes. But at least, you know, working with you, like displayed that, like allowed me to see it. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's also very
Yeah.
good.
Oh
Um,
my head.
and
Totally.
so, but I will say, like, it's very, it potential. It's just not like a feel good wellness massage kind of thing. Like
No.
it's serious stuff, you know. And you're just like if you want something where you leave and you know that you're gonna be feel like great and awesome, it's light and fluffy. Yeah, then probably don't do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We want people that are ready to move, right? And it's true what you're saying, Maxi, is in a lot of this information has been in books and people read it, and not to discount that people can get activated and have great awarenesses by these means without a doubt, but the power of this is in the communication of it, like from myself and Chrissy and the team, because it's not of the mind. It is coming through us. It's kind of a, I don't want to say, yeah, channeled, or it's literally coming through us, and it's able to do so because we have gone to places to clear out ourselves so that this can
Yeah.
be emitted. So that's why it's powerful. and and I want to like acknowledge you, Maxi's like being honest, going, no, I'm not ready yet. That is just as powerful as as saying, yeah, I'm ready. Do you know? That is just as powerful. Being that's truth.
Clarity, yeah, clarity, and yeah, I agree. You know, it's the decision to make, like, and don't let the world make the choice for you, but no, you sovereign being make the choice, and you
That's
decide what, you know, what you want your life to look like, you know, and take fucking ownership and responsibility for your actions, you know, and that'll set you free actually.
oh
Yeah.
yes. Yes and yes, totally. Like this is what I mean. I don't think we've really accessed the true power of our, like we've read it, I'm sure, like that we're creators, we're creating our reality. But I mean, literally, we are more powerful. Like there's Joe Dispenza and there's like these people that are actually going, look, there's science behind it. We're creating these realities in front of our faces. But the vast majority of people are like, just as you said, going with the flow, being victims and then letting other things decide for you rather than you being a powerful creator, because anything you want is possible. Anything you dream you want is possible. Do you know? It's just you deciding.
And the thing is, like, do you really want it?
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
do you really want it to the degree of like doing whatever it takes to get there? And I feel like people are just not really, like, they want it, but they don't want to do what is necessary in order to achieve it.
Yeah. I mean, look, I want a lot of things. I'm one of those people that like if somebody shares something with me, an idea, an inspiration, I'm like, "Oh my God," because I get excited. I'm really excitable. Like I get in this is why I love like guiding people, because I feel what they feel and I get inspired and I get excited by them. And so I could easily want a lot. I want a lot of things. Oh yeah, I want that, I want that, I want that. But that's just ideas. That's just like, up here, oh, that feels nice. But the real decisions and the real dreaming, your real purpose needs a quiet space for you just to hear yourself. Like that quiet moment to hear what is your heart pulsing, calling you towards. Does it want? Does it want that blue car? Does it want that red car? It doesn't matter what it is. Like we're not going to judge ourselves for being wanting material things. That's the beauty of living this life right now. But it's like listening deeply in here. What do you want?
50.
Akira, this is not fair. Sorry, it's not fair. I'm on this
Now
call.
we're late.
To
Not
what?
extra.
To
Not
what?
extra.
To what?
You said 45.
I wasn't sure what time. But Akira, where are you going?
I'm just bored.
Okay, it's okay to be bored. I'll be down shortly. It's okay to be bored.
About like half an hour ago.
Okay. Akira, you've got free reign of the house, and I'm not going to be.
Can I do some?
You've got free reign of the house.
I'm not gonna cut that out.
The house will be on fire. It's school holidays here, so the boys are off.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's
That's life.
That's life, right? Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I don't want to keep you much longer and cause some
damage in the
yeah, exactly. Some exactly.
No.
Construction site to be eventually being set up. But yeah, I guess just landing the plane, there's so much we can still explore. I'm sure. Just like the essence is just, I guess today when I feel into my heart, what I would love to just hear from you is like, what was like a initially painful experience that you had to go through, that you now look at in hindsight and say, that was actually very, very beautiful and very, very good. And just using that as an example for the listeners to, sympathize and empathize and just like lead with an example of like, hey, listen, something happened to me and, where I am now. So if there's anything that comes to mind or heart, did you feel like sharing? I'd be honored to hear.
I mean, there's a lot. Do you know, I feel so, yeah, one of the biggest ones was the heartbreak with Etienne, that I look back and I'm like, wow, from that point, I was set free on my journey to discover what I need to fill my cup up. It's important to fill my cup up. I can't be looking to him. I can't be looking to anybody else. I need to look to myself to fill myself up, to then be of service, because I knew I wanted to be of service. I love helping people. That's what fills me up. It's just such joy to be of service. But if I was looking to somebody else, it was I just felt like my energy was not fully there. But also I see like even birthing and seemingly painful experience, what they say is painful to give birth, it's not painful. It's actually like a portal which you're so close to life and death that it opens up. It kind of opens up this veil, like this veil that we've been living under. And can I start that again? Because I feel as if I've just been totally distracted. Pain point. Yeah. So, yeah. So I've just lost it.
That's okay.
I've lost where I was going or what I was trying to say. Can you, just ask me again, just so I can.
Yeah, sure.
See.
What experience you feel like sharing with us that initially was very painful, but you, in hindsight, are now looking at and can see the gold in it?
Okay, yeah. There was a moment when I had heard news that my mother was unwell. I was living in Ireland, and my mother was in Australia, and I had just been to Australia. Like I'd been there, I'd left the kids for 3 months, and I had just come back, and then there was word that she's unwell, not sure what it is. It's something on the brain, had no idea. And there was a period of about 2 weeks where I did not, like, I felt as though my head was up my arse. I could not see straight. I couldn't make any decisions. I was fumbling around. And it was because I was in indecision about whether it was right to go back to Australia after just being there, whether it was right to bring my kids or leave them again, or, do you know, and what it showed me, I mean, it was excruciating because I could feel in my heart my mother, that I had to be there. But I wasn't listening to that. The head was going, "What? You can't afford another ticket to Australia. You can't afford, you're going to go for how long? Are the kids get all these, like, the mind was just posing so many questions that I thought I was going insane. And it was with the key of decision that cleared things out for me, that I was like, no, I'm going and I'm bringing the boys. And I went to Australia for 4 months and was with my mother as she progressively went and passed. And it did not make sense to take my boys out of school here, to go over to Australia, to be homeschooling them in a small house, and to be at my mother's bedside every day as she was losing her capability to speak, move her body, as she was deteriorating. And but it was excruciating. That 2 weeks before I decided to go back to Australia was, it felt like I wanted to go to a loony bin because I was like going insane. And it was just because my heart was pulling me this way and the head was doing its thing, right? And it just taught me, you lead from the heart always. You go with your heart. Don't mind the mind. The mind will always be saying this or saying that. That's not where we're supposed to be living. The mind is there for us to be driving, doing those automatic things, right? Not to be making decisions for us. And so, I guess I encourage anyone that's listening, is like, you decide, how do you want to live? Do you want to live from the heart, be led by what the heart is calling you towards, which is the unknown, but it knows the magic. The synchronicities come in. It brings people into your field, the right people at the right time. But the mind will have you stay stagnant, safe. The heart has no reason. The heart has no reason, but I'm telling you, life just gets better when we decide to live from that place.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Maxi.
Thank you for this conversation. It's truly wonderful to spend time with you in this way, and for your honesty and your generous spirit and your wise words. And it was really, really good also for me to be here.
Yes.
Very selfishly on this day. So it's good. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm backing you and your beautiful journey, and trusting yourself, and like allowing every part of this tenderness of the heart to crack into places that you just didn't know. Like your heart expands.
I have a gig tonight, like a music gig.
Oh,
you know very well that I'm going to be performing very well tonight, because I'm going to feel the shit out of these songs,
Yes.
Yet another thing, like, that's the thing, right? And so, like, it's nice. And there's going to potentially be new songs, and, that's the creative gift, of pain and stuff is actually quite beautiful.
Oh, is it ever? Like, my creative work has been so influenced by every upset, every challenge. This is the beauty. Another aspect of the beauty of us living is that we get to express. Like, we are all artists. Like, we get to express.
Exactly.
And it's exquisite. I can't wait to hear you,
Yeah.
Mac. I'd love to hear you. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And it's in so in this space, in this portal of this space that you're in this tenderness of heartbreak, this vulnerability is present. This presence is presence, and that is felt in the field. That's what changes people.
Yeah, I know.
So it'll be a gift. It'll be such a gift for all those people there.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I wish you well.
Thank you.
Wish you well.
Thank you. Thank you so very much for this conversation.
So welcome. It was a joy and a pleasure, and I look forward to hearing your music.
Hey, beautiful listener, you have made it all the way through, and I want to take a moment to say thank you. And you can do me an enormous favor. It's all I'm gonna ever ask from you, and that is to go to your podcast app right now, and if you enjoyed the episode, give the podcast a 5-star rating. If you want to write 1-2 words or sentences, even more powerful, even better, thank you already in advance. And also, while you're at it, just click on that follow button, on that bell notification, so that you never miss a new episode. All of that just contributes, and it helps me to increase the reach of the podcast. That means I can attract bigger guests, and that means I can deliver more powerful episodes. So it's a tiny thing. I'm only gonna ask this little favor of you ever, not more. 10-15 seconds of your time, a couple of clicks, that's it. Makes a huge difference for me as a creator. So thank you so much.